Welcome to Press Drive on I-FLIER 103.3 FM.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to Press Drive, the ultimate newspaper review show on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, Ibadan. I am your host, MARVELLOUS, SOBALOJU, OYEDELE, and this morning I must say that I am excited to bring you the latest news, trends, and analysis from the world of politics, business, entertainment, and more. You know, every weekday our team, of course, our analysts, we get to break down the top stories, providing you with insightful commentary and thought-provoking discussions from the front page of Nigerian leading newspapers to the trending topics on social media. We get to cover it all right here on the show. So whether you're a news junkie or you are just a politics lover or you're just someone who wants to stay informed, Press Drive is the show for you. So sit back and relax and join the conversation. Let's dive into the world of news and current events. It's time to press the drive or to drive the press with Marvelous SOBALOJU, OYEDELE on I-FLIER 103.3 FM, Ibadan. Today is the 8th day in the month of April 2025, and we're starting the headlines from the front page of the Daily Trust. And here are the headlines. On page 6 of the Daily Trust, 6 killed, 59 abducted as bandits attack Katsina community. While lung cancer is silently killing Nigerians, that's on page 12. And this is a crisis. COAS visit Plateau, sues for peace. That's on page 8 of the Daily Trust. Splits in Hajj Commission. Board members accuse chairman of abuse of office. Body's activities guided by rules, coming from Nakan Boss. You can check that from the Daily Trust, particularly page 3 and 4 of that paper. Take It Back movement. Police tear gas disperse protesters. You can check that story as well from the Daily Trust on page 5. And we have more. Road construction. Motorists spend hours in Zuba traffic gate lock. You can check that on page 28 of the Daily Trust. And again, truck kill 1 crushes 5 vehicles in FCT on FCT Road. That's also on page 28. APC governors visit Buhari in Kaduna. That's on page 15 of the Daily Trust. Away from that and now to the Punch. And from the Punch paper, we have the headlines. On page 21, U.S. imported $643 million Nigerian goods in 2 months. U.S. imported $643 million Nigerian foods in 2 months. That's coming from a report on page 21 of the Punch. 78,000 Cameroonians, others sought asylum in Nigeria, coming from UN. That's on page 24 of the Punch. Factional firestorm. OB, Boris camp clash over parallel neck meetings. That's on page 2 of the Punch. And on 2027, APC governors visit Buhari amid associates defections to SDP. That's also on page 8 of the Punch. And a local government autonomy. Governors block council chairmen from opening CBN account. Governors tighten group as central bank rolls out stringent accounts opening guidelines. I'll take that again. Local government autonomy. Governors block council chairman from opening CBN accounts. Governors tighten groups as central bank rolls out stringent account opening guidelines. That's on page 2 of the Punch. Anger as police disrupt protests, deploy choppers. This is Nigeria. That's from the that's on page 2 as well of the Punch. My selection as Alafin divine, not political, coming from Oba Owode. That's on page 7. On page 7 as well. 4 arrested as JAMB uncovers 585 fake A-level certificates. All right, fans, friends, mourn 4 gospel artists killed in Ogun accident. That's on page 4 of the Punch. Well, moving quickly to the blueprint. Would engender well-trained, tech-driven modern police force, coming from President Tinubu, and that's on page 6. Use your position to unite Nigerians. Abbas charge Alaafin Owade. You can check page 14 of the paper. In business, on page 19 of the blueprint as well. CBN withdraws 5.5 trillion naira from system through TBs in first quarter of 2025. And in sport, Nigeria expresses interest to bid for 2030 Commonwealth Games. That's on page 32. And more from the blueprint. Following Trump's 14% tariff on air, mineral production volumes. Our focus on budget adjustment, non-oil revenues by FIRS and customs, coming from Edo, and lack of corporate governance, bane of political sector, coming from Adelabu. You can check that from the blueprint as well. We've begun technical upgrade of federal government media organizations, coming from Idris. Labour Party back to trenches after Supreme Court judgment. Abure lays claim to party chair. Obi Oti fix neck for April 9. You can check that from the blueprint newspaper. Niger Delta, army arrest 43 oil thieves. Confiscate 254,000 liters. That's on page 14. And on page 6, man kills 3 witnesses that could testify against him in court. Man kills 3 witnesses that could testify against him in court. That's on page 6. And on Lakurawa killings, we have this one. Governor Idris donates 50 million naira to victims' families. That's on Lakurawa killings. And that's on page 14. And the last headline from the blueprint. Youth leader engages UN over Nigerians' 20 meters unit housing deficit. That's on page 13. And moving on to The Guardian. From The Guardian newspaper, we have the headlines. Obi Oti lead charge as Labour Party enters make or break showdown. Obi Oti lead charge as Labour Party enters make or break showdown. That's on page 3. On 2025 Hajj, confusion as federal government debunks report on Saudi entry ban on Nigeria, 13 others. That's on page 3 as well of The Guardian. Bandits kill 4, abduct 14 in Castina local council. That's on page 8. Trump's trade war fuels recession, fears disrupt federal government 55 trillion naira fiscal plan. Take that again. President Trump's trade war fuels recession fears disrupt federal government 55 trillion naira fiscal plan. That's on page 6. Amnesty International demands probe into police assault as protesters want cybercrime acts repealed. All right, I'll take that again. Amnesty International demands probe into police assaults as protesters want cybercrime act repealed. That's on page 6. Would engender better Modern police force, Tinubu pledges. That on page 8. End killings, insecurity across state, Falana tells federal government. And that on page 5. EU pledges 300,000 on page 4 of The Guardian. And moving now to The Nation paper, police dispersed protesters in Abuja, Port Harcourt, guided march in Ibadan and Lagos. That's on page 4. Ayedatiwa get ultimatum to pay minimum wage universities, others. That's on page 6 of The Nation. 19.4 billion naira contract fraud. BPP director testifies against Zirika. That's on page 3. And APC governors visit to Buhari, a show of unity and strength. That's on page 2. First Lady's RHI backs battle against cervical cancer with 1 billion naira. Afeba Balola cautions against proliferation of universities. That's on page 3 as well. Federal government allays fares over 14% Trump trade tariff. Economic team assessing impacts on budget 2025 assumptions to determine response. Abure-led Labour Party threatened sanctions on OT and OB. Tinubu committed to well-trained, tech-driven modern police. That's on page 3 of The Nation. And now to the last paper for this morning, the Nigerian Tribune. Actually, we still have one more. See, for global advancement, honors Awolowo Dosumu. That's on page 3. Labour Party crisis, Abure's leadership threatens sanctions against Obi. OT ahead of parallel neck meeting. That's on page 15 and 16. And on Plateau killings, military to deploy more troops to troubled communities. JNI condemns killing. That's on page 4. And also, youths defile police warning, stage protest in Lagos, Abuja, Rivers, Ibadan, others. That's on page 6. Saudi ban, Nigeria not affected, coming from federal government. And UBEC disburses 22 billion naira to state for training of 224,000 teachers. That's on page 4. And CNG, federal government attracts $491 million investment, unveils plan to expand penetration in 30 states. That's on page 3. APC governors visit Buhari in Kaduna, says party stable ahead of 2027. That's on page 15. Naira under pressure amid global tariff tensions. Operators predict low earning for Nigeria, cheaper petrol pump price as oil price crash, says effect on export will be negligible. That's on page 25 of the Nigerian Tribune. And from the Vanguard newspaper, we have this one. Police protesters clash in Abuja, Port Harcourt. All right, you can check that on page 5 of the Vanguard. We have lots of writers on that, but because of time, I won't be able to take all. And also, global tariff war. Federal government will review impact on Nigeria, coming from Edo. US, China at daggers drawn as Trump threatens Beijing with extra 50% tariff. That's on page 8. And Labour Party crisis, Abure OBOT, someone parallel neck meeting. That's on page 9. And also we have this one, Ted Peter sides chairs. Okay, personality awards of the year. All right, that's fine. And we have more. Afeba Balola to National Assembly, stop approving substandard universities. That's on page 10. Reverse Fubara suspension. U.S. Law Institute tasks Tinubu. That on page 8 of the Vanguard as well. So these are the headlines making the rounds from our dailies. And it's time for us to go into details very quickly to some of them. And we're live on Facebook as we speak, so you can join the conversation, reacting to any of the headlines talked about or making the rounds this morning. With me in the house is Barrister Folusholakbo. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, good morning this morning, darling. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good morning, Nigerians. It's yet another day, a day of the Lord, and we welcome you again to this very day. I say good morning, but for me and for us at I-FLIER, we want the
Director, Amnesty International Nigeria, Issa Sanusi, said this showed that the government was not willing to listen to Nigerians. He criticized the action as a serious violation of human rights, stressing that the people have the right to assemble and associate with others. He said, and I quote, "People have the right to associate, and the duty of the security agencies is not to tear gas them. It is not to harass them or violate them, but to facilitate them and make sure they do their protest peacefully and with all the projections that would let them have their voice heard." But the police once again have proven to be against humanity's right. They have proven not to be ready to change from their old ways of hostility. We condemn this act and want to call on them to change before it's too late, because Nigerians cannot continue to tolerate this kind of assault. Enough is enough. It happened in August and in October last year, and now we are witnessing another one. It is completely a lawless attack, and Amnesty International condemns it, and we are documenting it. So those are the words of Amnesty International, but they are not the only one who actually seems to have condemned the attack on protesters yesterday. And many times on this show, we've actually addressed the way Nigerians, or should we say security agencies, would always go against protests. And I could recall that you have affirmed it to us here that protest is our right. It is something that it is done everywhere. So why are they having issues with them having their protest? Apparently it was a peaceful one, but they were tear gassed. Choppers were found. They were throwing. I saw a lot of videos yesterday. I just want your reaction on that very quickly.
In fact, the funniest one is that of River State. You know, they were even following the protesters. They were together, jollificating, enjoying themselves. Suddenly, they got to an under bridge, and the leader from the police said, "It's okay. This one that you've done, it's okay. So you can go." And they said, "We've not finished." And it got angry, and they begin to tear gas them. That is that is very, I don't know, it's just laughable, and it shows that two things. It appears the police have not shed their toga of being a government agency, as in meaning they are just for the government of the day and not of the people. And that is why people are not really seeing them as a friend. You know, they kept on this slogan that police is your friend. But many Nigerians, especially the poor ones, know that police is not your friend. In fact, befriending a police is even, how can I put it, it's a red flag, because it might even be that police that you are befriending that will be your Judas eventually, that will, you know, plan for you to be taken, arrested and all. And you know, it's like, you know, like somebody said this one anyway, he said quarreling with a wife is like being arrested by the police, because everything you say will be used against you. So the police uses everything against you, whether right or wrong and everything. And it's unfortunate that they are so intolerable. Maybe like it's been done in other in other climes. For instance, in US, we have the New York Police Department, we have the Chicago Police Department, we have whatever police department, and in UK and all those places. So let us, maybe if the force is taken from their name, they will now begin to see themselves as a civil organization to be friends to the people. And secondly is the fact that they should know from their law. Like I said, maybe they've not really shared the toga of this militocracy from them. Of course the military had ruled Nigeria for so long that they began to think themselves as gods. I mean the place. Now somebody said, I am going to protest, which is his constitutional right anyway, and which their own police act said if the police is informed of any protest, what they should do is to ensure that they help in making sure that the protests do not go awry, or people begin to commit arson or criminal crimes even with that thing. And that is what they have to do, to just protect. That's what the law says, protect. And for the police to be telling the protesters that no, they cannot do that, they should shave it, who made them God over us? I don't know, because they are not God and they cannot play God. Even Mr. President cannot tell anybody in Nigeria not to pray by the people and for the people, not just a government of the few, for the rich, for the elites alone, which we think to be having now. Aristocratic type of government. At least that is what we were taught in our government classes in secondary school. Aristocracy, where the rich, rule, and that is what we have now. So I think we should come back to our democracy, government of the people, and maybe that was the theme of that protest anyway. Take it back. Let us take our government back. It is our government. It is government of the people. And how do we take this back? To me, I do not know, to be sincere. It beats me, because if votes were to count, I would say, okay, we can vote them out of power. But vote doesn't count. Even before the vote, before the vote, they already knew or know the person that will be president, that will be this, that will be that. So in that instance, what can the righteous do? What can the citizens do? Because that is where we thought we have power before, through our votes, and the vote doesn't count. And that thing, maybe sometimes when I just think about this country, I conclude to the fact that maybe, like Pastor Ayodele used to say, we should continue to pray for this country. Maybe one day, God will actually hear our prayer, and He knows how to go about it, how to bring back our government for us, a government that will be people's government, where people will be able to eat. Before there could be scarcity of money, but food, in Nigeria, I don't know. But today now, food is just, even I was told 4 pieces of what is it, rodo is 200 naira or thereabout.
200, 500.
500. Can you imagine?
It's not more expensive.
So where do we go from here? So if you cannot even cook stew or whatever it is, so how do you eat? And the rice is no go area. Even our own dear Gary had joined them.
Yes, sir.
Gary is now a big man. So
every food is
every food. So where do we go from here? I think it is prayer, because if you turn to the court, the Nigerian government will not obey the court. If you turn to the police is not your friend. If you turn to the federal government, the executive council, oh God, they are the ones that are even poking this or that too. There is no more separation of power in this country. It is the executive that is driving both the legislature and the judiciary. So where do we go from here? And that is why we need our government back. That is why we need to pray to God, that God, enough is enough. I think we've bore this too long. Please have mercy on this country, and let this country come out of this doldrum. Let this country come out of this darkness it found itself. Have mercy. It's only by your mercy. So I think we should pray. Maybe if you are an Obatala server, please pray to your Obatala. If you are a child of God, as it were, pray to your God.
We've been praying now. We've not been cursing our country now.
Many people have been cursing this country. So, but I hope those people should change their understanding of things.
Okay, but we have been praying for
this
it.
country. May God direct our leaders right. How did our national anthem say it? So that's our prayers now, because I don't know where to go. The police is doing what they like. The executive part organ of government has taken over the judiciary and the executive. I don't know. Please, I don't know. Maybe the only thing I now know is prayer.
All right, now let's talk about local government autonomy. Governors block council chairman from opening CBN accounts. The challenges facing the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy have resumed a new dimension, with some state governors explicitly warning their council chairmen against opening an account with the Central Bank of Nigeria for the direct payment of their allocation from the federal account. The latest development represents yet another significant hurdle nearly 9 months after the Supreme Court granted full autonomy to the 774 local governments across the country, paving the way for direct payment of federal allocations. As part of the federal government's commitment to the Supreme Court judgment, a panel was set up to ensure the implementation of local government autonomy. In line with its recommendation, the panel directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to open accounts for the 774 local governments for direct payment of their allocation. This process was, however, faced delay from the CBN. With the CBN and local government trading accusations. The immediate past Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Medeyin, and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, and other officials recently commenced talks on the modalities for the local government areas to open accounts with the CBN for direct allocations, but are reportedly facing challenges identifying local government areas with democratically elected officials. The Federal Account Allocation Committee Technical Subcommittee meeting revealed that only Delta State local government area had submitted their account details. And amid the controversy, fresh investigation by newsmen on Monday revealed that some governors have resorted to intimidation and coercion, pressuring their local government chairmen to refrain from opening the designated account for direct allocation payment. Several local government chairmen who spoke with newsmen on the condition of anonymity out of fear of victimization said their respective governors have directed them not to open account with the CBN for the direct receipt of their allocation. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
What happens to separation of power? Business separation of power, they call it.
They are supposed to be.
Okay.
And I don't think there is anymore.
And those ones too, they seem
the
to
governors too take over their own House of Assembly too. So what do we expect? And now, of course, the Constitution puts the governance of local government under the states, and that is why the governors are playing Lord of the Manor over them, unfortunately. And again, this shows to us that financial autonomy alone cannot heal the wound of the local government. Yes, administrative autonomy have to be included. And what do I mean by that is that local government should be in control of their own administration. And to that extent, INEC or probably another body should be formed to be conducting elections for local government. Because as we have seen it, states electoral commissions cannot work. Because one, by the way, the state electoral commissioner, most of the chairman, most of the time, is a card-carrying member of the government in power.
Actually.
So, and they will win every local government without one.
It happened in Oyo State.
So, and that is, it happens in Oyo State and it's happening in every other state. Every other state. So there's no exemption to that. Even the data that the governor was so magnanimous to allow them to open their account. When he conducts his own local government to maybe his own what now chairman too will be from his party, all of them. Look at even the rivers that was having issues with their own that were having issues with their own party. You know, the governor have to adopt another political party within days to that election, and that political party, other federations have 3 tiers of government: the federal, the state, and the local governments, and the 3 must be made to survive, to thrive. And because the local government is not thriving, because the local government has been choked, that is why we are having all this problem of insecurity and the rest, because insecurity is local. So it's the function of the local government in those days that they see before anybody come into, immediately anybody strange come to a local government, people around that place will know, and they are very it is easy to approach this local government. Anybody can go to their own local government, but people, for instance, from Mokeogun, before they can get there to the state secretariat, it will take them some time and hours, so maybe a whole day. So what do they want to come and do at the state local government when they have their own at their own state at the secretariat of the state government, if they don't have any business with them? And they shouldn't have any business with them. We should be having businesses with our local governments, but today everything goes to the state and to the federal. Unfortunately, I think this have to stop, and fortunately this constitutional amendment at least is saying something concerning that. But I'm confused too, because the legislators too act. I'm confused too, because the legislators too are confused, because in one of the bills that went to the second reading, in one of those bills they said INEC will be conducting elections to local government. In another bill they said there are going to be another commission, electoral commission, to conduct election for the local government. I think they should merge the two, or to look at what they can pick from the two and get in one organization, whether it's going to be INEC or whether it's going to be that or that something, so that at the end of the day local government will have their administrative and financial autonomy.
Okay, we'll go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
Unlock your child's reading potential. Introducing Bookworm Empowerment Children Literacy Center. We nurture a love for reading and learning in children for lifelong education, with technology assisted in teaching learning to read and reading to learn. Expert instructors with a passion for teaching reading. Personalized reading learning plans tailored to your children's needs. Fun, interactive and engaging learning environment. Small class sizes ensure individual attention. Regular progress updates and parent-teachers conferences. Our program consists cognitive and technical reading skills, phonics, phomic awareness, fluent reading, decoding, vocabulary comprehension. Enroll your child at this very excellent period. Contact us to register your child right now on 0802 351 9154. Address GAF Building by Keto Petrol Station, Orogun, off University of Ibadan, Second Gate. Empower your child with the gift of literacy.
My people, me and you no get electricity wahala again. No, OIC Solar don't make and day easy kulele with this new kind of bonga easy life solar product. We then just carry land with the multi for Ibadan. With this them powerful solar kits, we dey for different sizes, original power stations like a 200 watts, 300 watts, 600 watts. With the inverter embedded solar kit, we get 6 brighter bulbs, an attractive solar radio within charging point. Bona fit take a charge your phones, correct solar freezer, different lithium batteries, tabular batteries, portable Android projector, different solar inverters, electric motorbike, we sharp as we dey sell, we dey install. Na so we dey repair power solar system and components. OIC na the Ogbonge confirm accredited distributor for all the companies them where they produce original solar products from Obodo Yibo them, big companies, churches, mosque, event center, everybody. Wakago OIC Solar Company today for Shop C4, NTA Shopping Complex, Agodi Gate, Ibadan. Na so then they for Samsung Shopping Complex, Ekulodi Junction, New Ife Road, Ibadan. Website www.oicsolar.net. For Instagram plus TikTok, OIC Solar 1. Tulu 081 05 02 0388. Better light don't come.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me introduce to you Mama Gold Semolina and Supreme Semolina. Yes, Are you looking for the best pasta and semolina brands for your family? Look no further. The gold standard of pasta and semolina, made from the finest ingredients, is here. A semolina is perfect for making delicious meals. And for spaghetti and macaroni lovers, we have Mama Pride spaghetti and macaroni, Crown Premium spaghetti and macaroni, rich in fiber, vitamins, and made from the best nutritional ingredients. Our pasta is perfect for you. Choose the best for your family. Choose Mama Gold semolina, Supreme semolina, Mama Pride spaghetti, Mama Pride macaroni, Crown Premium spaghetti, and Crown Premium macaroni. And the best parts, Crown pasta and semolina is available at a store near you at affordable prices. Be a king and queen in your home. Always with Crown Flours.
All right, you're welcome back. Don't forget you can be a part of the conversation by putting a call through and also dropping your comment on the Facebook page. The studio lines are now open: 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 I-FLIER 103.3 FM live. Letter I hyphen then flyer FLIER 103.3 FM live. Drop your comment right there and it will be read this morning. All right, so let's quickly talk about the federal government assessing or allying fares over 14% Trump trade tariff. Okay, so the federal government is reassessing economic strategies and exploring potential scenarios to mitigate the possible negative impact of the United States tariff on Nigerian economy. A multi-sectional economic management team is critically analyzing data, revenues projections, opportunities, and weak points in response to the 14% tariff imposed by the U.S. on all products imported from Nigeria. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs yesterday in Abuja allayed any worries over President Donald Trump's trade policies, which continues to rattle global stakeholders. Edo, who spoke at the launch of a corporate governance scorecard for government-owned enterprises, said members of the economic management team are re-evaluating national economic assumptions in the light of the new tariff regime. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs says the government will consider all possibilities and respond appropriately. But then I should also add that many persons believe that this 14% tariff by the U.S. could actually plunge Nigeria into recession once again.
It's not only Nigeria. One, I'm even it's that news is happening. At least for them looking at it, because the news I heard or that I saw streaming on telly yesterday was not that beautiful, because I heard Edun was saying that it's not going to affect Nigeria. Of course it's going to affect Nigeria. Why wouldn't it affect Nigeria? For instance, it means whatever it's imported from US will attract another 14% increase. That's the meaning for the ordinary person. For instance, you import maybe toothpaste from US and before now it cost about 10 naira. Now 10 naira plus 14%. So that is what it's going to be. I'm not a mathematician, but at least I should be able to, tell if something is going to be more expensive or coming down. And like they said about you read the story there now that prices of crude of PMS should crash. Of course it should crash. I think the crude oil is now around $60 per barrel from 70 something that it was coming from, and that is because of this trade war between that US had inadvertently, whether inadvertently or intentionally, brought to fore, is making things to get awry even all over the world. Immediately he did it to China. China retaliated. The EU countries retaliated, and that is causing a whole lot of trade war as it's being called now. And even that recession is being feared, because yesterday, if you look at the stock exchanges from almost all the whole world, you see that all of them went into red. They were so bearish, and to that extent, it is indicating that what happened after is that 1988 or 2008? You know, when these when people were buying stocks anyhow, whatever stock there is, everybody was just buying, and suddenly it crashed. I think that will be around 2008 or thereabout. So, and everything went down, 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 down. Many people lost a whole lot of money in those things, and that may be something that is coming up now if care is not taken, and that is courtesy Trump to the whole world. I think I don't know what is wrong with Trump really, and I think something should give, and I think the world.
And I think he gave China 50% tariff,
and
too.
they retaliated again even more. So they gave a more.
Same thing with Canada
and European countries. So they too retaliated immediately, and I think Nigeria should retaliate too
as well.
Let us give them 20%.
Are you sure we have what it takes? Okay, 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033. Hello, good morning. All right, you can try call us back. 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033. Hello.
Good morning, Marvelous.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning this morning, Sister Ruth. I hope. Hello?
I'm Bosse from
Oh, Bosse from Olodo, you're welcome.
All right, you're welcome.
financial autonomy and this local government autonomy thing that we heard in the news, we have in the news again. For me, I feel the federal government is not taking responsibility because anything they have to do, if they really want to do something, they don't even go further to wait for the masses to respond before they do it. Just like the issue of the jet and the national anthem that they changed. It was just suddenly that we got the news that this has been done and that has been done. So whoever wants to do anything should do, which there was nothing anybody in Nigeria can do to it because the thing the federal government wants to do has been done by them already. So, and that is also applicable to all this local government thing, this autonomy thing. If they really want to take any effect that will favor the masses, it should have been done without them waiting for the courts to give order or whatever, because they also have the rule or the right to do whatever they want to do in favor of the masses. We are the electorate now, we voted them into power, so why would they do what should be done in our favor? And I've also suggested that this power should be circulated. It should not just be centralized by the federal government alone. And that is the reason why what the local government owns, everything goes to the state and the federal government. And at the end of the day, they end up not fixing the lacuna that is in between the financial autonomy. And that is the reason why we end up saying that our local governments are suffering what we are supposed to be enjoying. All the wealth that is owned by Nigerians and the local government is what the federal government and our leaders at the federal level benefit, and we are at the detriment of the masses, which is not supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, boss, the federal government cannot do anything regarding this. It is beyond their power, and that is why they have to go to the Supreme Court for the financial autonomy.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
my
sir.
name is Kele Balabi.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
Yesterday was National Police Day. I wish them a happy celebration. Why the federal government has promised them better equipment, better training, and motivation in order to secure Nigeria. Once again, I wish them a happy celebration. Secondly, on the issue of Edo State, the governor of Edo State has approved the payment of pension and gratuity to all these pensioners. This has been stopped in the past 10 years. I give Governor Okoyo kudos for this. These people have worked for they have used their black here to work for the government. And they are there by the time they are supposed to be enjoying their pension, they deny them. This is scandalous. I give Governor Okoyo kudos for acting that this gratuity should be paid. Thank you. Have a nice working day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kele Balabi. 0705 500 1033, 0905 444 1033. Those are the lines to get a call to be a part of the show. And from Tolulope Adeyemi. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my daughter.
Good morning, my daddy.
My good morning, sir.
Good morning this morning, sir.
Yes, on the issue of police force. If you go around, you see that there's some police something time for. You do not see force there. They have been asked to remove the word force, but they refuse. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
They refuse to remove it. I know there was this former CP that said they should remove force from their listing, but up to today, they still want to be using force. The other force.
To want to raise this.
Okay.
Don't you think they were actually acting on an instruction?
And that is the problem. Whether or not they are acting on instruction, they can't act on instruction against the people. They are the police people. They are supposed to be policing the people, quote and unquote. And their own law states that.
Okay, sorry. Hello, good morning.
My Marvelous, how are you,
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Good morning.
The barista of our time.
Good morning this morning, sir.
The potential time. I'm Evangelist Sola Taiwo from Bukwara Bahia.
You're welcome,
sir.
I want to comment on 40% tariff given us by, imposed on us by Trump. You see, our leaders should be very, very hardworking. They should be hardworking. If we are hardworking, the idea is there. It will not affect us. But now, what you have to say is it cannot affect us. It will affect us. Let me tell you that this. Our leaders do not have any idea at all. They are just concentrating around, giving us afflicting us from us. Who does that? They should be hardworking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, 0705 500 1033 from Tolulope Adeyemi. Good morning. The attitude put up by the police to disrupt yesterday's protest is not good. It's not a good one because it is the rights of the citizens to protest. But it's quite unfortunate that the federal government of the day, in their usual way, wants to silence the voice of the people, forgetting the fact that there wouldn't be any protest if they had done well and not the other way round. The police should better rise up to their responsibility of protecting the lives and properties of the people, and people should also conduct themselves in a peaceful manner because we don't want a replica of what happened during the NSAS when many properties were destroyed because the money used in rebuilding those properties by Governor Seyi Makinde would have been used for something else. May God heal our land. Thank you very much, Tolu. And Daddy Fashino Isiaka says, good morning, Marvelous, SOBALOJU, OYEDELE, and the evergreen barrister, Folusho Olakmo. Thank you, sir. Deborah Mo says, well done, ma. Thank you. And well done, sir, too. Good. Okay, this is Omade Adekunle. It's very glaring that the APC federal government does not want any protests against their poor administration, but then they could protest against Jonathan's administration. Democracy is dying gradually under the APC government. May God have mercy on the masses. You know, the words of Omade Adekunle made me to remember what the Burkina Faso military leader said. He said that democracy had not worked in Africa.
Yeah, and Obasanjo said that too. He said probably we should get our own homegrown democracy. And that is true because we've already had democracy here even before the Europeans came. We have the Oyo Mesi. We have the Oyo Empire, for example, where the Oyo Mesi is the legislature, the Alafin, the executive, and the Ogbonis as the courts. They are the ones that, do the court, judgment and all that. It is the ones that are very great that they have to take to the king. So we have that before. Maybe if we have to go to that, maybe because we should have a homegrown democracy where what we really understand.
Sorry, let's take this call. Hello, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
I am Stephen Dili.
You're welcome, sir.
From
Yes, sir.
2 or 3 things I want to touch.
Okay.
And I'm not going to spend much time.
All right,
Number
sir.
one, police that prevented the peaceful rally is too bad. If they go for rampage, that will cause problems to the society. And the major thing they went for was that Cyber Cafe Act that caused problem for we that are using data and there normal price. A good government should know that the purpose for being there is to allow the people to live. The act that established the police is to, fight for peace within the place where they are. But they are now a puppet in the government. That's about that one. Then regarding the autonomy, according to what I hear from my master, it's not enough financially, but it is referring to aviation. It's like where we are today, Africa. Africa needs to be free from people called powerful world that give us independence. Indirectly, they still control us. See one organization called in short, USA, Africa, something like that, African Agent Development. This government, Donald Trump said that such a thing will not happen again. Sorry, to stop. All these things, why can Africa is there on Nigeria? And I like that we have a good trade with America. In return, what are we getting it? And budget for this year, they based it on crude oil, that is $75. See, it has dropped to 60. And this time around, what does it indicate? They are going to borrow. Finally, they find out the issue of security. Why can't they, as they did in the river, they declare the emergency, state of emergency of security? Why do we have police all this say and the custom office there and there? They are man the porosity of our border. It's too bad. I think nothing, anything come out of MEPA, either you can pick it. They are just a MEPA. They cannot produce, but they can destroy the product of meat. Oh, OYEDELE is talking for you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's take some of the other comments we have right here from Sulaiman Sharif. He says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. I learned that the delay in opening CBN account has been attributed to administrative bottlenecks, including the failure of the Apex Bank to fix a date for the biometric data capturing to complete the process. The only solution is to amending or expunging some sections of the Constitution, which is a lacuna that affects the implementation of local government autonomy. All right, thank you very much, Sheriff. And Mariam Yetunde says, good morning. It is heartening that police often disrupt protests with tear gas, despite the protesters' peaceful intentions to make their voices heard. Since protests are legally protected, it's puzzling that government frequently deploys security agencies to prevent them. This approach is concerning and undermines citizens' rights to express themselves. Thank you very much, Mariam. And this is from Daddy Olakunle Akamu. He says, good morning, great team. I-FLIER is the best. Thank you very much. In most cases, protests are always hijacked by hoodlums with serious